Hello everyone, welcome back to Sports Kabri Arun Foot and a Curious Harry with me at Hiren and Arnava. I'm Rahul, guys. We're inching closer to those two important World Cup qualifiers against Afghanistan. Um, 3 days to go. We've had a little bit of build up. We spoke about it just a little on Friday, and we promised that we'd really go into depth this week, and that's exactly what we're going to do. Before we start discussing India Afghanistan, Anoa, does it feel like it's an international week, and does it feel like there's some buzz around the Indian national team?
Well, first of all, very good evening, everyone. And to me, yes, there is some buzz because these are the kind of games which for us are must-win games. The coaches called up some new players, has left out certain players. So we can, we'll certainly talk about that again. Reading a lot about stuff regarding Afghanistan and sort of their situation that they still haven't been able to sort out the problems between the federation and the players. The issues of the players saying that there is corruption in the AFF, sorry. Yeah.
But both are same. Na?
I was about to say, it's very interesting. I would be interested to see if Indian players actually stand up for Indian football and actually strike. But anyway, different discussion.
Exactly, sir.
And so that's why it was a false friend from my side. But they're very clear. And Ashley Westwood tried his bit. Has been trying to convince players to come back. He's been able to convince a few of them, but the key players have not returned. So it is still advantage India to try and get, or not try. India has to get 6 points to take the advantage home against Kuwait for the final game, and then in the sense of final game, meaning the game in June before the last game, of course, is away in Qatar, and yeah, it's a lot of hope, a lot of anticipation of what we can do, what we should do, what we need to be able to get the points, and then continue and get into round three. Even though I'm a little surprised. There's a story today which was leaked regarding the relationship of the head coach of the president is good and all those kind of things. Just an eye wash. Sorry to say.
बट सर एक इंटरेस्टिंग राहुल सॉरी टू इंटरप्ट एक ये जो मतलब क्या बोलते हैं कि एशली वेस्टवुड ने जो मतलब न्यूज आ रही कि उन्होंने अभी तक मतलब एज सच कोई प्रॉपर स्क्वाड अनाउंसमेंट नहीं की है उन्होंने भी काफी और जो ट्रेनिंग सेशन और सारी चीजें वो भी क्लोज डाउन रख रहे तो व्हाट डू यू से अबाउट दैट कि सारी चीजें मतलब एकदम वो भी चाहते कि इंडिया को थोड़ा सा सरप्राइज करे इन दैट सेंस कि पूरा अपना जो प्लान है या फिर प्लेयर कौन कौन से अवेलेबल हो चुके हैं कौन कौन से नहीं हुए क्योंकि उसमें भी काफी स्पेकुलेशन चल रही है कि कुछ प्लेयर आए कुछ और एग्जैक्ट स्कोर अभी तक पता नहीं चल पाई उस सेंस में
See, I think they've been doing their thing smartly, and I remember we discussed that there was some sort of camp in January,
यस
and then something. Again, talks have been going on. They've been trying things to strengthen the squad, which I still don't know. I think nobody really knows where they stand. So yes, there will be an element of surprise, but at the moment, as it stands, they are not fielding their best team. Which again, if they would be a surprise. But then on the other side, I would say, difficult to me because I feel that if you're then suddenly fielding your best team, but you've not really prepared, and India is getting now time in AFA to prepare themselves at that height, it should be advantage India. But again, football is a crazy sport, so I've given up on certain things. So therefore, my hope is there. But and we need to get the 6 points. I don't agree with you that we should be thrashing them 5-6-0. For me, the most important thing is to get the 6 points. There is no contest of playing good, beautiful football. For me, it's about winning the games, and nothing more, nothing less.
बट सर आई थिंक उनका जो आई थिंक उसका इंटेंशन वो है कहने का कि अगर उनकी मतलब आप जैसे बोल रहे हो कि स्ट्रॉन्ग टीम नहीं होगी मोस्ट प्रोबेबली फिर तो वो होना चाहिए हमारे स्टैंडर्ड के हिसाब से अगर आप
What is
फिर
our
भी अगर
standard?
आप
Iran, what is the standard? No, no,
नहीं नहीं
I'm asking a serious question. This is not a joke. I'm seriously asking where, after the Asian Cup performances and the deterioration from last July, Till January, over the 6 months, we have gotten worse and worse. Where does the Indian team today stand? I know from players who are first 11 players who do not want to play in this team. They do not want to play with this coach, but they cannot go to anyone and say, sir, we want a change, right? We have a number of players who have gone with a good form to the national team. At their clubs, they've been doing well. How and what will the coach pick? I don't know. Do you know? Does anybody know? That is
बट
my
नहीं
only concern.
नहीं जो आप बोल रहे हो वो बिल्कुल सही है, बट मेरा कहने का मतलब ये है कि अगर टीमेच और एआईएफएफ और वो सब बोल रहे हैं कि वी आर ऑन अपवर्ड ट्रेजेक्टरी, फिर तो अगर आपके सामने बी सी टीम है, अगर आप अफगानिस्तान की देखें, आई थिंक न्यूज आ रही है कि उन्होंने 16 साल के प्लेयर भी वो कॉल अप कर रहे हैं, तो दैट मीन्स उनकी बी टीम भी नहीं है। चलो मान लीजिए सी टीम है, फिर तो जो ये आइकरलन बोल रहे हैं वो होना चाहिए, एटलीस्ट आपको 3-4 गोल मारने चाहिए फिर तो।
But that 16-year-old was sitting on the bench for Watford on the weekend.
Watford, Southampton, yes. I know that.
So
but
that 16-year-old is most probably better than most of our players. So that is also reality. So to me very honest, I want 6 points by hook or by crook. It doesn't matter. I don't care. This is not a style contest. This is something which I always, I hear here in Europe, the big teams, they say when they play qualifiers, it doesn't matter how we play the qualifiers. Our competitions are the final competitions. Our problem is our coach has turned it around. We will play great in the qualifiers and final tournament. Why are we going to the Asian Cup?
Asian Cup,
No? So, but this is a fact, and I condone. This has been the case for quite a while. This is not something that has happened over the last few weeks. This has been going on for a while, and that is the worrying fact to me, that nothing has changed. Nothing has been done to rectify this. With all the big talk within the AFF, nothing has been done. The coach's contract has even been extended.
बट ये सर आई थिंक मेरे को लगता है कि ये जनरल अगर इंडियन स्पोर्ट का अगर आप देखें तो प्रॉब्लम है। आई थिंक क्रिकेट में भी अभी रिसेंटली अगर आप देखें तो कुछ उस तरह का हुआ है। आई डोंट थिंक सो कि इंडिया में वो कल्चर है कि प्लेयर उस तरह से स्पीक अप कर सकते हैं जैसे अफगानिस्तान के प्लेयर प्रोटेस्ट कर रहे हैं, या फिर हमने बाकी यूरोपियन कंट्री या फिर बाकी कंट्रीज में देखा है कि कोई भी स्पोर्ट में हो कि जब उनका फेडरेशन के साथ कोई इश्यू होता है या फिर फेडरेशन की कोई किस तरह उस तरह से होता है या फिर कोच के साथ होता है, तो देयर प्लेयर स्पीक अप इन द मीडिया और दे शो प्रोटेस्ट। बट आई डोंट थिंक सो कि इंडिया में वो उस तरह का आई थिंक है कि जहाँ पे प्लेयर उस तरह से अपना जो प्रोटेस्ट या फिर जो अपना ओपिनियन है उस तरह से रख सकते हैं, क्योंकि यहाँ पे फिर डायरेक्टली उसके ऊपर जिस तरह से अटैक होता है वो आई डोंट थिंक सो कि कोई भी प्लेयर चाहेगा कि वो यहाँ पे इस तरह से पब्लिकली बोले।
हिरेन, अफगानिस्तान में हो रहा है।
एग्जैक्टली मैं वही बोल रहा हूँ।
अफगानिस्तान मेंस एंड वुमेन्स टीम में हो रहा है। Their officials with indecent behavior with female players were put in jail. Look at what happens in India. Anyway, let's not get into that road. That is, you're 100% correct. That is our problem. But our problem is now it's too late. Now we have to live with all of this. Now, for me, it's about result. Very simple. And to me, it's very, very clear. These two matches, 6 points. Even if they're 2-1-0s, I don't care.
Yeah. But what happens, sir, if in these two matches where Kuwait is also playing against Qatar, and we know that Qatar in recent past also produced a good result against the Gulf countries who are higher ranked than them. So अगर वहां पे उन्होंने कहीं पे भी अगर वो सरप्राइज रिजल्ट निकाल लिया, फिर तो और भी ज्यादा हमारे ऊपर जो जून में मैचेस आने वाले हैं प्रेशर और भी ज्यादा बढ़ जाएगा, बिकॉज देन तो कुवैत के सामने वाला जो गेम है वो मस्ट विन ही हो जाएगा हमारे
लिए। All of this is possible. See, the point is for us is at this stage 6 points are needed because we have an advantage over Kuwait, right? So to me it's very, very clear, as long as we maintain that advantage, 2 wins against Afghanistan and another positive result against Kuwait, we're safe. If we're able to get 13, let's say 13 points, not sorry, let's say 10 right? 13 is
Hmm.
asking a little too much. But if you get 10,
Hmm.
that likely will see us through.
Hmm.
But
Yep. Yep.
but the reality is that we have won the first time away against Kuwait in a long, long time against any team. And the last few times we played Afghanistan away, we either drew or lost. That is also reality.
A couple more again chats, guys. Charan saying honestly, after the Asian Cup, no one's expecting any playing style. We just want the results. Fair enough that he wants the results. But Hiren, how much are you looking at sort of how India plays these games, as in whether we actually play possession-based football? Because it's probably his best chance to play that style.
देखो राहुल, वही तो अनसर्टेनिटी है ना कि आप अगर आप पिछले 1.5 साल में देखेंगे, यू डोंट नो किस तरह से टीम यहाँ पे परफॉर्म करेगी, यू डोंट गेट दैट कॉन्फिडेंस। यू कैन से कि जो आप ऑनेस्टली आप बोल सकते हो कि हाँ भाई टीम इतना तो कर ही देगी, वो आपको पता नहीं चलता। क्योंकि चाहे मैं ये नहीं बोल रहा कि हायर टीम या फिर लोअर लोअर रैंक टीम, कोई सी भी टीम आप देख लो, अभी अफगानिस्तान के सामने अगर आप अवे मैच में किसी से भी बोलेंगे तो ऑनेस्टली वो उस कॉन्फिडेंस पे नहीं बोल पाएगा कि हाँ भाई, अगर मान लीजिए कि उनकी स्ट्रॉन्ग टीम होती तो और भी ज्यादा डिफिकल्ट होता। बट फिर भी अगर उनकी बीसी टीम है, फिर भी हम उतना कॉन्फिडेंसली नहीं बोल सकते जैसे अभी एक और उन्होंने बोला कि 3-0 4-0 5-0 क्या बोलते कि वो कर देंगे थ्रेस। क्योंकि आई थिंक टीम की ओर से जो कंसिस्टेंसी वो चाहिए, वो चाहे हायर रैंक हो लोअर रैंक हो, उस तरह से वो नहीं देखने को मिली है। एंड वो उसका रीजन वन ऑफ द इज डेफिनेटली आपकी प्लेइंग स्टाइल भी, जैसे आप बोल रहे हो कि यू डोंट नो कि कब पोजीशन पे फुटबॉल खेलते हैं, कब आप वो करते हो। सो आई थिंक वो एक टीम की जो आइडेंटिटी है वो कहीं ना कहीं मिसिंग है। यू डोंट नो कि कब कौन सी टीम आपको टर्न अप होती हुई दिखेगी। हमने एक टाइम पे देखा था कि पाकिस्तान को 4-0 भी बीट कर रही थी टीम, एंड एक टाइम पे मंगोलिया या फिर वानुआतू जैसी टीम के सामने हम या फिर म्यांमार जैसी टीम के सामने हम स्ट्रगल भी कर रहे थे और एक आध गोल ही ढूंढ रहे थे। तो काफी सारी चीजें हैं कि जो टीम में अनसर्टिनिटी है, एंड वो जब तक थोड़ी सी कंसिस्टेंसी नहीं आएगी तब तक वो श्योरिटी भी नहीं आएगी। और एक आइडेंटिटी तो मिसिंग है ही है मेरे हिसाब से, कि आपकी एक क्लियर प्लेइंग फिलोसॉफी नहीं है कि दिस इज द इंडिया आइडेंटिटी की अंडर द ईगो इमेज की भाई हाँ एक एक आइडेंटिटी की भाई इसी से टीम ज्यादातर मैचेस खेलती है। मैं नहीं बोल रहा क्योंकि ओपोनेंट के हिसाब से भी आपको खेलना पड़ता है, बट एक जो एक आइडेंटिटी है वो अभी भी आई डोंट थिंक सो कि इंडिया के पास है।
Another an icon alone saying that we're not at all press resistant, and we could be in trouble if Afghanistan press high. And you think, how do you think Afghanistan will approach this game against India, knowing that we haven't had the best Asian Cup?
See, the point is that Afghanistan still has certain players who play in Europe, North America, and Australia, and whatever, right? So the BC team from their side is still, if Ashley Westwood gets the basics right. So to me, that's going to be the challenge. And to me, is again, I at the moment don't know which is our first team. I can speculate, which will potentially be our first team, but I don't really know who's my first team, who's my first 11, right? I'll say that Gurpreet will play, Anwar will play, Sunil will play, and then most probably Pujari will play, but and then it starts. Who's going to be, will he play Akash or Shubhashish? Will he Rahul Beke could play as a centre back? Is he going to play Apuya, Tangri, Suresh, or will he take someone creative out there? Who will he play on the wing? I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, concerning.
So therefore that is the thing. And again, it'll be interesting to see again. Hopefully that there are a number of players in the team who have had a good club form in the recent weeks. That these players play and are able to play, to that level. We've seen. I thought that the Asian Cup, some of the players did not get to the level that they were playing at club level. So that is my hope that the players do and understand how important these games are, and then we get a result. Very simple. I mean, again, the result at the end of the day, 3-0, 4-0, 5-0, or it doesn't matter. We need to win. We need to win whatever. And therefore, I'll take a 1-0, a 2-1 or whatever. And Afghanistan is not a team which normally we've beaten with a big result. Afghanistan has always been a team where we've won 1-0, 2-1. Those have been sort of our standard results.
बट आई
Yeah.
थिंक सर, जैसे राहुल ने अभी पूछा कि व्हाट विल बी द अफगानिस्तान गेम प्लान, तो इफ यू सी कि अफगानिस्तान से एक चीज तो मेरे को लगता है श्योर शॉट होगी कि श्योर शॉट लग रही है कि फिजिकलिटी में वो हमको टक्कर देंगे डेफिनेटली, चाहे उसकी बी सी टीम कोई सी भी टीम हो, फिजिकलिटी वाइज आई थिंक मेरे को लगता है कि दे विल बी मच मोर स्ट्रोंगर। एंड आई थिंक ज्यादा वो मेरे को लगता है कि लॉन्ग बॉल एंड काउंटर पे जाने की कोशिश करेंगे। वो चाहेंगे कि भले इंडिया बॉल रख ले, बट आई थिंक सेट पीसेस और आई थिंक लॉन्ग बॉल, और उसमें आई थिंक वो चाहेंगे कि एक आध गोल भी अगर उनको मिल गया, देन दे कैन आफ्टर दैट यू कैन से कि यूटिलाइज ऑन दैट, एंड फिर गेम को उस तरह से वो आगे फिर कंट्रोल कर सकते हैं।
See, my concern is with that is the games where we were supposed to control the game and make the game play.
एग्जैक्टली।
We have struggled the most.
हम्म।
So that is the thing. And so to me is very clear. That's what I'm saying. I'm not bothered about the style at the moment. I'm bothered about getting to that next round where we are forced to play quality opposition. We will have to learn. We'll have to get better. That is what we need. We've played enough of these Afghanistans and Bangladeshs and Nepals over the last decades, right? Now it's for us. If we want to improve, we have to play better teams. But again, you have to create the situation. Again, a different kind of topic is, the whole financial situation of the AFF. An own situation that the AFF doesn't have funds to actually do things which are needed to improve. So therefore, all these things are interlinked of where we are, where Indian football stands. It's very, very complex and very, very complicated.
Yep, Egosim was saying going to round three is very easy if you get two lower ranked teams in your group. And how can the AFF agree to see much as priority of making it to the round three of the World Cup qualifiers over, say, the Asian Cup? Hiren.
अच्छा, उनका क्या था? मैं अच्छा, गोइंग टू राउंड 3 इज वेरी इजी इफ यू गेट टू लोअर रैंक टीम्स इन योर ग्रुप। हाउ कैन AFF agree to stay प्रायोरिटी ऑफ राउंड 3? देखिए आई थिंक यही हमारे लिए, मतलब मेरे लिए तो सबसे पहला क्वेश्चन यही है कि इंडिया अभी फुटबॉल के उस मुकाम पे है ही नहीं कि वो वहां पे डिसाइड करता है कि भाई ये हमारी प्रायोरिटी है, हमारी प्रायोरिटी नहीं है। आई थिंक वट एवर द चैलेंजेस, जो बेटर चैलेंजेस आपको मिलते हैं, जैसे एशियन कप में 3 क्वालिटी मैचेस थे आपके सामने, तो उसको आपको एम्ब्रेस करना चाहिए था और देखना चाहिए था कि हाँ भाई वी विल गिव आवर 100%। सो वो देखने को नहीं मिला एग्जैक्टली। सो आई थिंक अगर वो थॉट प्रोसेस के साथ अभी बढ़ेंगे, फिर आप पिक एंड चूज कर सकते हो। आई डोंट थिंक सो कि एट द मोमेंट हमारे पास वो लग्जरी है कि हम पिक एंड चूज करें कि हाँ भाई ये टूर्नामेंट प्रायोरिटी है नहीं है। वट एवर द क्वालिटी मैचेस आपको मिल रहे हैं, दैट शुड बी योर प्रायोरिटी, सिंपल एज दैट। एंड अगर आप उसी से बिल्डअप करते जाओगे, ऑटोमेटिकली यू विल गेट द रिजल्ट। आप ऑटोमेटिकली जो आपका जो बाकी टारगेट है वो अचीव करते जाओगे, रादर देन कि भाई ये इसको हम स्किप करेंगे, जो कि ईगो स्टेटमेंट ने भी रिसेंटली बोला। और मैं थोड़ा सा सरप्राइज था कि उन्होंने बोला कि हाँ भाई वो एशियन कप डिसअपॉइंट था, लेकिन अच्छा हुआ कि वो फेस फटाफट निकल गया और हमारी जो मेन प्रायोरिटी थी। और वो तो ये भी बोल रहे कि मैंने क्या बोलते हैं, प्रेसिडेंट को बोल दिया था लास्ट जून में कि इस तरह के एग्जैक्टली। तो ही नाउ बिकम द एस्ट्रोलॉजर। पहले वो एस्ट्रोलॉजर से वो चीजें करवाते थे, वो खुद ही बन चुके हैं कि हाँ भाई दिस आर द एग्जैक्टली थिंग्स विल हैपन, एंड वही एग्जैक्टली हो रही है। सो आई एम लिटिल बिट सरप्राइज कि इंडिया इस तरह से, मतलब जो एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर और जो क्या बोलते हैं कि जो डिसीजन मेकर है वो ऐसे मतलब प्रायोरिटाइज कर रहे हैं कि हाँ भाई दिस आर द इम्पोर्टेंट टूर्नामेंट। आई थिंक एट द मोमेंट हमारे लिए कोई भी क्वालिटी ओपोनेंट, चाहे वो फ्रेंडलीज में भी हो, वो हमारे लिए प्रायोरिटी होना चाहिए कि हाँ भाई हमें इसमें अच्छा करना है।
Just to add a point, I think this whole round, this pot discussion is useless because Kuwait, forget their ranking. Kuwait is as good as or as bad as we are. So this
We are
whole
exactly.
sort of manipulating this pot business of trying to get into pot 2 and getting a weaker team actually backfired because we got one of the strongest teams out of pot 3. Yeah. So to me is very easy to say all of these things and try and work around it. For us as India, there are 2 or 3 factors which we need to see. And again, there was this video on the weekend from an international platform which really made fun of Indian football and Indian football governance, which actually summed it up, right? With all the potential that we have, we are not doing anything about it. So to me is very, very clear is it doesn't matter what results Kuwait has had against Afghanistan. I don't want to see what Kuwait is doing against Qatar. I need to get my 6 points here on the board. If I get my 6 points on the board, and I get at least a draw against Kuwait at home, I have 10 points. Kuwait would have to beat Qatar then twice to get to 10 points. Sorry, once at least to get to 10 points.
Yep.
You know, so that is to me is, yeah. Again, Qatar are the Qatar are the current AFC Asian Cup champions. You know, so this is not, you know, for Kuwait it's not an easy one, and we saw ourselves the 3-0 in Bhubaneswar. That was, you know, they were gracious. India has been very lucky in the last few months with some of these matches where the bigger teams have not really destroyed us. You know, that is something, and this is sometimes a friend of mine who's a coach always says, you know what, rather than losing thrice 1-0 or 2-0, once in a while losing 5-0 is good because it gives you a reason to talk about the problems.
Mm.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, 1-0 and 2-0
नहीं
usually. Like,
नहीं
it's okay. Like, go to the next
देखो
one.
हाँ 1-1 में वो क्या होता है कि फिर आपकी जो उस मैच में भी जो प्रॉब्लम्स होते हैं, जैसे कि मान लीजिए कि कुवैत वाला 1-0 से हम जीते, तो उसमें मनवीर सिंह उस गोल के सिवाय बुरा ही खेला था उस मैच में, और हम जब वॉचन कर रहे थे हम भी बोल रहे थे कि भाई क्या कर रहा है इसके टचेस और किस तरह से खेल रहे हैं, बट वो एक गोल और एक मोमेंट ने वो पूरा मतलब सिनारियो और परसेप्शन और सारा वो क्या बोलते हैं कि एक जो वो है कंप्लीटली चेंज कर दिया कि भाई हाँ भाई ही इज बीन ग्रेट, और उसके ऊपर ही फैंस ने फिर 2-3 जो नेक्स्ट मैचेस थे उसमें चलाया कि वो मनवीर सिंह और मेन, और फिर जब उसका फॉर्म डिप हुआ फिर से लोग बोलने लगे कि भाई ये स्कोर में
No,
नहीं
but
आने चाहिए थे,
see, but
तो
that happens with any player, right? With any player
हाँ नहीं मैं
anywhere in the
एग्जैक्टली
world.
वही बोल रहा हूँ.
I mean, that's
हाँ
you know, now suddenly Anthony at Manchester United is the biggest player in the world. No, that they were
एग्जैक्टली
still giving Gali,
हाँ
or you know, Raheem Sterling being abused at Chelsea, whatever. So these
चेल्सी
things
हाँ
happen. You know, this up and downs happen. But the point is, where do we stand? What are we? Where are we? Where do we want to go? Now, to me, you know, to me is very, very clear that it's not a matter of Manveer Singh or any other player. The players are trying to give their best, and if they get in that opportunity, they'll try to score. But I, as an Indian football fan, have to be honest enough to know what are the capabilities of my players at international level. We are expecting things of our players which these players sadly cannot do. And this whole story about younger players and all of that stuff, are they, again, call up younger players, are they really better? My simple question. Are they really better? Are they ready to play international football? And a good test will be our under 23s playing against Malaysia a day later. You know, a lot of talented boys. Let's see how they do. Because a lot of boys are being said, oh, they should be playing. And my prime example this season of Indian football fans and their fickle-mindedness. Sorry, and don't mind that I'm saying this. Or, you know, Deepak is saying that people are hypocrites in this Manveer discussion, and very, very rightly so. Is Jay Gupta as well as Parthiv Gogoi should have been playing for India in September. Right? And Parthiv, 3 excellent goals at the start of the season, has a brilliant technique. But then you saw also this whole up and down with, sorry, I should do it, this is better to see, up and down performances of Indian players with the inconsistency. Jay Gupta was playing well because FC Goa was on an up. He came in a team which was functioning, which was bobbing at the time. He has to be given the chance to make mistakes, to have bad games. I mean, even Manolo Marquez took him out for a game. Right? So therefore, I don't see that exceptional talent, you know, that exceptional talent who needs to walk into the Indian team. Do you, I mean, honestly, I can, do you see a player who needs to be in the India squad who's not, again, to me, Putea is one, but he's a more seasoned player. That's you know, to me, clearly. And Sana Singh. We're not talking about young players. We're talking about established players. But other players to me is, I don't see a young player who is pushing that he needs to get into the squad. You know, I don't know if you guys think so, but you know.
Yep. Question about Roshan as well. could have gone. Was there a spot for him, Hiren?
I think for me, I think his this season he has been थोड़ा सा मेरे को लगता है कि ड्यू टू द बेंगलुरु एफसी परफॉर्मेंस आल्सो एंड ड्यू टू हिज सम ऑफ द मैच बैंस एंड एवरीथिंग आई थिंक वो एक कंसिस्टेंसी वो आई थिंक एक देखने को नहीं मिली है दैट्स व्हाई आई थिंक वन ऑफ द रीजन कि उसको यहाँ पे ड्रॉप किया गया है एंड आपके आकाश मिश्रा एंड सुभाषिस बोस इन अ ग्रेट फॉर्म आई थिंक दोनों अपने क्लब के लिए आकाश मिश्रा स्टार्ट में थोड़ा सा स्ट्रगल किए सेटल डाउन में लेकिन आफ्टर दैट आई थिंक ही इज गिवन अ कंसिस्टेंट परफॉर्मेंस सुभाषिस
Yeah.
बोस इज डूइंग रियली वेल एंड राइट साइड पे आई थिंक एमी रानावाड़ा का भी आई थिंक कंसिडर करना बनता है दैट्स व्हाई आशीष राय का भी केस आता है कि आशीष राय भी आप देखिए कि जब जॉन फेरांडो था तब थोड़ा सा उसको गेम टाइम ज्यादा मिल रहा था बट अभी अंडर द यू कैन से कि एंटोनी होबास जॉन फर्नांडो में भी आई थिंक मनवीर सिंह को उसने ज्यादा राइट विंग बैक यूज किया था कंपेयर टू आशीष राय एंड अभी भी अगर आप देखें तो मिला है कुछ मैचेस में बट ऐसा नहीं बोलेंगे कि ही इज बीन इन द स्टार्टिंग 11 प्लेयर सो आई थिंक दिस आर द रीजन कि ये दोनों प्लेयर के लिए यहाँ पे नेशनल टीम में भी जगह नहीं बन पाई है बट जैसे ही वो आई थिंक क्लब के साथ कंसिस्टेंट रन आएगा और अच्छा परफॉर्मेंस आएगा डेफिनेटली रोशन सिंह हैज द ऑल द पोटेंशियल कैपेबिलिटीज आई थिंक he definitely then come back into the national team.
Yeah, I think I agree with Deepak as well.
I just to add to that is if I think about Roshan on the left, I'm calling up Jay Gupta, so I want to see the player, which is good. On the right, I'm trusting Nikhil Pujari, but I also have options over there because I'm trying out Amay Ranawade. So suddenly, not being a specialist in a position for Roshan seems to be a problem because of his overall non-performance. Let's put it this way. It's a little hard, but again, he's not performed to the level. And with his, again, Roshan is a perfect example of a player with the potential he has. To me, he has to play better.
Better, exactly.
So that is something. Praveen says Vibin to me, yes, player with potential, but in that position, we don't have a problem. So Vibin has to be a cut above the rest of the players who are being picked at the moment. I have an Apuya. I have a much improved Suresh. Deepak Tangri in the last 2 months for me has improved a lot. So that is that. And then, where is the space for another defensive player? Because I still, even if Vibin is doing well, Putea to me is still ahead of Vibin. So Vibin comes in most probably as a number 5 or number 6 player in that potential position. So, and he's young. Therefore, for players like Vibin, under 23s, yes, to me, perfect platform to get game time at international level.
Isaac
All these
also.
boys, Isaac, we've got too many wingers. I mean, I did a video in the morning, if you want to watch it, where I asked the question is who could be replacing Sunil Chhetri? Because that's a question that a lot of people asked me in the last few days. And I thought, okay, let's discuss it. And I go back, I start my point in saying, listen, Baichung Bhutia, when Baichung stopped, Sunil was slowly taking over, but we used to play with 2 strikers up front. Now we play with 1 striker. Even Sunil was not the finished product when he came into the national team. He improved a lot, especially in his time at JCT. So therefore, is it Manveer? Is it Vikram? Could it one day maybe be Ishan Pandita or maybe someone totally different? And this whole I-League discussion that people are doing, seriously, I-League, Santosh Trophy, that is the level of players you want to see in the Indian national team? Then tell me how many players from the Championship, from La Liga 2 or from Bundesliga 2 play in the respective national teams.
National team, exactly.
And Igor, Srimaj, totally agree. Igor has not used the strikers when the opportunity was there. So therefore, to me, is the Intercontinental Cup, Tri-Nation Cup, even to some extent the SAF. You could have tried players. The Asian Cup and the World Cup qualifiers to me, it's not going to be Samir Murmu, great under 23, but Samir Murmu for the Indian national team? Seriously? Guys, we have to be real. And again, about these academies producing players, who has produced a world-class Indian player ever? Which academy Any academy in India, name me one academy which has produced a world-class player. We've never had a world-class player. So for us to go around and say things, it's nice. It doesn't matter which academy, which club, whatever. The clubs and the academies are not producing talent for India. Huh?
बट
So
बट
therefore, that's the
सर
reality.
इसमें एक एक चीज ये भी है ना कि फैंस अगर इन सब का नाम ले रहे हैं, जो ये संतोष ट्रॉफी या फिर आई लीग के प्लेयर है, तो आपका जो एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन है वो भी तो वही सोचता है ना कि उनके लिए भी इन 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 टूर्नामेंट को वो उतना ही मतलब वो मानते हैं। जैसे अभी रिसेंटली एक, मैं पता नहीं मेरे को कितना सच है कि गलत है ये, कि जैसे कोई इगोस्ट इमेज का कोई पैरोडी अकाउंट ने बोल दिया था कि मैं आई लीग से प्लेयर नहीं शुरू करेगा, और सडनली एफएफ का एक्सको और सब लोग वो एकदम से वो हो गए थे कि भाई कैसे नहीं कर सकते। तो भाई आपका जब टॉप डिवीजन आपका क्या बोलते हैं कि आईएसएल है, तो ऑब्वियसली प्लेयर वहीं से सिलेक्ट होंगे। अगर वहां पे प्लेयर अच्छा करेगा देन तो यू कैन से कि वो क्राइटेरिया ऑटोमेटिकली कहीं पे लिखा नहीं होता, बट इवेंचुअली हर किसी हमने कंट्री में देखा है कि वही बन जाता है।
But the point is, I'm not saying that I'm blabbering something. It's not a question of what the quality of the ISL players is. Are you telling me that the quality of the I League players is better than of the ISL?
एग्जैक्टली भाई, मेरा मेरा
Huh?
वही पॉइंट है।
I mean, just think yourself what you're saying. You don't seem to have understand that there is a standard of quality. If you know Santosh, if Santosh Trophy is a priority, let's then shut down the national team. Seriously, if that is our priority of football, we want to live in the past, then don't play the national team. India's done that. India started playing the World Cup qualifiers only in 1986 because in India people
Yes.
thought, you know what, Are, we are so great, we don't need to play World Cup qualifiers. Get a check of what you know, what you understand, and then come and talk to people seriously. Because this, to have an opinion is nice, but to have an opinion, you need to have knowledge. And in Indian football, I realize on social media, on content, on this, most people don't understand the basics of football and want to discuss football. You know? And if you believe, listen, the coach has gone into a few matches, mentioned a few names, those were guys who will be picked. Do you think those guys deserve to be playing national team? They won't even get a chance in an ISL team. Huh? Vidya Sagar, to me, best example. Top scorer in the I League. Goes to BFC, goes to Blasters, now at Punjab. How many minutes? How many minutes has he played in the last 2 years? So these are, if you don't want to accept realities of where we stand, then please dream about whatever you think you want to dream about. As I love to say, La La Land.
नहीं महाज्ञानी भाई, लाल बैंक की स्कोर 2 टुडे इन आई लीग, अगर आईएसएल में जब वो 2 गोल मारेंगे तब वो बात होगी ना।
He's not going to get
और
the I
एक
League. I mean, listen,
एक
I League players, an I League player, and again, I think the Super Cup is a good platform to see. Even weekend ISL teams are better than I League teams.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's the reality. The reality in Indian football is not the Indian player. Punjab FC is so good in the ISL because of the foreign players. They brought in a solid centre back, and Mehdi Talal is one of the signings of the season. Those two players. You brought in a Wilmer Jordan, who's experienced, and Luka Machin, I've been saying for 2 years, can play ISL. That is your biggest difference. It's not because of the Indian players. If you have a good set of foreigners, why is Mohammedan Sporting so good at the moment? Because they've been investing properly into their foreigners. Look at Srinidhi as well.
Yep. Crazy. Guys, we've got a small quiz for you as part of our segment today. And it's a short one. And pretty much similar rules apply as we did last time, if you guys remember. Um, once the question is
बट
put,
फैंस को
yeah, yeah,
फैंस को भी
everyone can
इन्वॉल्व
play.
करे क्या?
Yeah, everyone can play along. So the rules are simple. whoever knows the answer will say their name, and then once you say your name, you can give the answer. Guys, again, everybody in the chat, you can play along as well. It's a mix of Indian and European football. Very little European football. You've got mostly Indian football, national team related. I again, good 25-30% is national team related. Then you've got club football, and then you've got a little bit of European football. So yeah, just for some fun today. So yeah, these are the rules, guys. 7 questions. Siren versus Arnava. So yeah, any questions, guys? Okay.
Ready.
Let's start.
Okay, let's have some fun then. Again, I would urge both of you guys to widen your screens, not see the chat in case somebody's given away the answer there. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. We're good to go. And question number one is simply, who is India's second highest goal scorer?
Bhaichung Bhutia.
It's not Baichung Bhutia. So Hiren's frozen out, Arnava. So it goes to you now. It's just you. It's not.
Okay.
It's either PK Banerjee or Shabir Ali. Would be my guess. Because they are in.
So Deepak Das is asking active. No. It doesn't have to be an active player. Just to clarify.
Overall.
Yeah.
It's JJ.
It's not JJ.
No. I would go PK Banerjee.
It's not PK Banerjee. It's actually I am Vijayan with 32 goals. So that's your second highest Indian goal scorer, which is, I mean, again, of course, I unfortunately never got the chance to watch him. But yeah, that's what it is. India's second highest goal scorer. Moving on to question number 2, guys.
Are you sure? Because I'm just checking, because I've got a old database which says PK Banerjee scored 65 goals.
I know which website.
It used to be called IndianFootball.com.
Oh, okay. I mean, again, I hope there is not too much disparity between websites. If
I'll just check what Vijayan has, how many goals according to
it
the
says
stats
32.
we had put together.
Okay,
we had put together 39 for Vijayan.
Okay.
And I'll just tell you, Shabir Ali, just 1 second. Where is Shabir Ali? Shabir Ali is 35. Okay, Shabir Ali had the highest number of internationals. He played 110. That was the story. Okay.
Okay. I don't know, any solid sort of database that you would recommend that we...
There is none. See, the point is, when we used to do IndianFootball.com in the past, we used to try and gather the data which was available, and we put together as much as we could in those days. Nowadays is relatively easy, right? Because matches are tracked, so all the data is available in real life. And if you try and find, we tried to create a database from 1947 in regard to matches, and there's the question of definition of what is an A international, what is not an A international, because sometimes there were matches declared as A internationals which are not. So therefore, also, the Sunil discussion is also, as Sunil actually played as many matches as he scored actually so many A international goals, right? So that's another, which you could take forward. So therefore, these kind of data points are very, very difficult to get because from the 40s to about even the 90s, a lot of the data was lost. So there are even tournaments where we tried to put together at least the list of finals, who's won it. There's a list of who's won it, but you can't even get the list of finalists. What was the result in the final? Who was the runners up? So that's why, to me, therefore, a lot of this data is not available.
Enough, then a lot of this data could be skewed. So guys,
अनुराग कौशिक भाई बोले कि barefoot to boots, उसमें भी I think उन्होंने मैचेस कवर किए, but सारे मैचेस I don't think so कि उसका वो रिकॉर्ड.
So Novi used to do an almanac for the Duran Cup, Novi Kapadia, in the past, and that has had a lot of data, which again we used, but even Novi's data had some patches which he could not find, and then again there was a concerted effort with the help of a number of journalists, and without which this did not be possible. So and therefore, yeah, but the jump, it's to find the information has always been very, very difficult. It's again in today's world, everything's very, very easy, right? Even thinking about 10, 15 years back to finding a live stream, it didn't exist. So all these things that you ask always, uh, 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 you know, it was a different world. Yeah.
Very interesting because this makes the quiz a lot more fun because now we don't know for sure, but we're still playing the game. So, yeah, yep. Moving on to the second question, which is who is the second highest capped player for India?
See, for me, if I go by my old data, it would be Shabir Ali.
Okay, okay. I mean, let's just for the sake of guesses, Hiren. Any guesses?
Mm, let's I go with Sunil Chhetri is the highest.
Yeah, so according to Wiki data, again, Sunil Chhetri is the highest capped with 148, most capped player.
Mm.
And in second place is Baichung Bhutia with 88 caps. But according to Arnava, like again, like you just said, the data that you got, Arnava, you said 110 caps, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
110 Shabir Ali. Wait 1 second. Shabir Ali at 110. Vijayan had 79. PK Banerjee at 86. And you said Baichung, huh? Let's see. Let me
Yeah.
check Baichung. Bhutia. Okay. This was 2009. Okay. It had 58 matches. So again, there are certain matches which have been counted. And that's the problem, right? For example, the matches in England in 2000, 2001, 2002, some of those matches were counted in. Even though, I mean, we were playing Fulham and West Brom or, Leighton Orient. So those matches normally don't count. So therefore, there are certain matches in these stats, which make it a little difficult.
Very fascinating. But now the next couple of questions I know for sure are right. So there's going to be no disparity when it comes to these.
Like,
Third
then
question.
Rahul, इससे एक चीज तुमको सीखने को मिले कि इंडियन फुटबॉल के इस तरह के स्टेट बेस्ड क्वेश्चन हम आगे से नहीं रखना है,
Yeah,
रादर
yeah,
देन
yeah.
उस तरह के क्वेश्चन रखने हैं. सो इसमें कोई वो नहीं होगा फिर.
Lesser history based, stat based questions, history stat based questions. But yeah.
हाँ,
Um,
हाँ.
Question number 3 is pretty simple, guys. This ISL season, there are two teams that have the joint most clean sheets. I want both their names.
Mumbai City and one is Mumbai City for sure. I think 8
Okay.
clean sheet है उनकी, and other one is
FC Goa.
FC Goa.
So Hiren Anwar, we've got you guys again because Hiren has given me two names. I'm not going to consider Hiren's because Mumbai does not have 8 clean sheets. So Anwar, which
Okay.
is the other team with 8 clean sheets? Because FC Goa is one.
Odisha.
It is Odisha. Hiren, I'll again
Obviously Odisha.
we'll split marks for this. But guys, once is the wrong answer, I think we should alternate. let Yeah. So yeah, but it is Odisha and FC Goa. They're the two teams that have 8 clean sheets this season. Yeah. Moving on to question number 4. Which player, again, this is official ISL stats, has the most chances created?
Mehdi Tala.
It is Mehdi Talal. It is Mehdi Talal. He's 40 odd chances created. Incredible numbers. I think he's
40
been
odd.
brilliant. What a player, and I'm sure he's probably going to get a good move, big move.
2-3 ISL clubs are want to sign him for next season.
Yep. Another Mehdi Talal, do you think has been the player of the season so far?
Sorry.
Yeah, I was just asking you if you think Mehdi Talal has been the player of the season so far.
He has been one of the best again, the difficulty is for best of the season, you need to be in the playoffs. So if he can take Punjab even into the playoffs and just be in that knockout round, then yes, you can consider him. Otherwise, I think we'll have to go with, who is going to take his team into the semis or into the final or even win the title. Because there are other candidates. Dimi Petratos, to me, is a very influential player at Mohun Bagan. Ahmed Jahu at Odisha. So there are other players as well to count, right? But again, to me, yeah, those would be the ones I would suggest, because there are other teams where, um, you know, Mumbai City comes more as a team rather than as individual brilliance. And
Yep. I'll move to question number 5. Slight deviation because we're moving into European football. Quite generic European football. I think they're both Champions League related questions because it is Champions League season. We're getting closer to the quarterfinals. And yeah, the question is simply which team has the second highest Champions League trophies? So this is
second
including your
highest.
European, which we used to have. So yeah,
Acha.
including that. So it's not just the Champions League era. So,
I think
overall
it would
trophies
be
yeah.
overall trophies.
Overall trophies of Europe's highest club competition, basically. Second highest.
I would say Bayern.
It's not
I think
Bayern
AC
Munich
Milan.
because it is AC
AC,
Milan. It's
AC,
AC
AC.
Milan has
Oh, AC has 7, right? Bayern has
yeah,
6.
Bayern
Sorry.
has
Ah,
6. Um,
Sorry, yeah,
yeah,
Milan. I forgot Milan.
Liverpool
Yeah,
has 6. So
I
yeah,
was thinking about Juve, and then I forgot. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
The Bayern and Bayern are both saying AC Milan. Yeah, you guys are
Yeah,
right. Bayern
sorry,
has
my
6
mistake.
guys, but everybody saying Igor Sima Chelsea are not even in the conversation. I think. So yeah, yeah, that's that. Fair enough. I think moving to the next one it's another Champions League related question, and it's related to Arsenal because I am the quiz master, and yeah, that's it.
भाई
This
So
said Arsenal का
Hiren,
question दूसरे देने
black
का.
screen,
हाँ.
black screen करो.
but
Protest, protest
please
दिखाओ,
don't boycott.
protest.
Please don't boycott, guys.
हाँ,
But yeah.
yeah.
The question is pretty simple, guys. Arsenal haven't played in the Champions League for a long time. Many fans like me
2009.
have been. When was the last time Arsenal played the Champions League? It's not 2009 here. That was the last time Arsenal went
Last
to the
time,
quarters.
2008.
no, the last
अच्छा
time they went to the
play.
quarters was 14 years ago. They
No,
were
no,
in the
no, no,
quarters.
no, no. The question is just the last time Arsenal participated in the Champions League before the season.
In Champions League. अच्छा. I think
Yeah.
2017.
2000
Yeah,
16
I'll
17.
give it to Ottawa because it was the 16-17 season. That's the year Arsenal
16
suffered that
17.
heavy defeat to Bayern 10-2 in the round of 16 stage. Yeah, you got it's not 2014, 2016-17 was the year. So terrible year if you were an Arsenal fan, but great year if you were a Bayern fan like Ottawa. So yeah, yeah, so that's what happened.
You know what? I remember. I watched the matches. No, the one of the matches in Pune with Arsenal fans.
Okay.
And they'd already won 5-1 the first one. I said, "Okay, second
Yeah.
one to 5 to hoga." Na? And it was just a casual joke at the start of the evening, right? And that really made it around, and everybody knew it. I said, "Guys, it was just a stupid joke. Around football, we always do that, and we throw around stuff." And then in the end, at 3 o'clock, you saw all these dejected Arsenal fans, and there were, I think, two other guys besides me who were supporting Bayern. We were just smiling. I said, and we played football in halftime, right? And we as kids used to play football quite regularly, right? Thrashed a few Arsenal fans 10-0, five or six of them in halftime. So, it was a brilliant night for me. So, therefore, bring it on. Bring it on.
Yeah, worst night, but that is the quarterfinal that we've got. It's going to be a lot of fun. Arsenal Bayern, I
Yeah.
think, is a
But
great contest.
but
Could Bayern go
can we
trophy?
say नहीं but can we say same for the India versus Afghanistan? Bring it on.
Yeah, I think we can. Let's go
We
into a little
should.
bit of confidence.
We should.
We should.
Yeah.
Uh,
So, therefore, again, for us, I think it's important. Again, if we come back to the India topic, as I say, I don't care about style, this, that, everything. It's just win, win, win. Bas, khatam. 2 wins, 6 points, move on, bring on Kuwait in June.
Yep, absolutely. Guys, one last question for you before we close this. It's on our national team coach, Igor Stimac. The question is simply during his playing career, during Igor Stimac's playing career, which other English club
अरे
did he
यार.
play for apart from West Ham United?
Derby County.
It is Derby County. Yeah, I know it's yeah. I've actually seen Funnily enough, so I've actually seen people talk about Igor Stimac. Like there's a Derby fan who has a YouTube channel, Luke Pingu, who's quite smart actually, brilliant football fan, and he's actually a couple of times mentioned that Igor Stimac was one of those players who did play for Derby because he does those
Legend for them.
yeah, yeah, he does those tic tac toes, and you have to sometimes have like a Croatian and
हाँ वो
Derby
हाँ वो
player.
एक्स
Crazy.
एक्स एक्स ओ की तरह वो पे चूज करना पड़ता है कि हाँ भाई ये क्लब एंड कंट्री दोनों का रखते हैं एंड देन यू हैव टू
Exactly.
गेस द प्लेयर.
Exactly. Another, so we'll take this one before we wrap up. Anurag simply wants to know your favorite foreign player to play in the ISL.
Who currently or who has ever played, Anurag?
I think he
I
means
think
all time.
overall है.
See, if I go back, I have to go back to the first season because I was involved and I've got a lot of respect for him. And that would be to me would be Nicolas Anelka as a player because I've worked with him day to day, right? So for me, Nico would be the preferred player amongst the foreigners that I have personally worked with. If you ask me the best player to have played in the league over the last 10 years, there are quite a few. You would have had Mendoza in the early years. Elano was brilliant in Chennai in those days. Elano Bloomer, brilliant guy as well. Adrian Luna falls into the list. Greg Stewart falls into the list. There's a lot of these players who've done. Roy Krishna falls certainly into that list as well. A number of players. Bart Ogbeche, yeah, not to there are a number of them. To say just one name is always very difficult because we are in the 10th season. Ferran Corominas is someone one should not forget. So therefore many players to mention. But if you ask me for all-time favorite, because again I've worked with him and I know what kind he brought to Mumbai City, to me would be Nicolas Anelka. Even though second season, of course, there was a lot of issues with him surrounding him because of controversies and all, and therefore, yeah. But again, that was not my problem.
Former Arsenal again, Nicolas Anelka.
Diego, yeah, Sanskar, yeah, Diego Forlan also not to forget. Again, there are so many legends who are big time legends, but who also became ISL legends, who have played in the ISL. I mean, this is one thing that in Indian football's fans often forget, that what kind of players have played on Indian shores over the last decade. That's something. If you look at it about first of all, the big names or the names who became big in India, who would have spoken about a Roy Krishna, a Bartok Beche, Adrian Luna, Petratos, all these guys, or at the moment, Mehdi Talal, who would speak about a Mehdi Talal, so therefore, we've had quite a bit of good quality foreigners who've come into India and who have sort of shown what kind of football they can play. And that is something where to bring us back to our Indian football discussion, that I feel that's why there is a gulf in standard in regard to I-League and ISL, and that is something which we need to realize. There are players who make it, but who are making it? Very often defensive players make it from the I-League to the ISL, but the attacking players very often struggle, especially strikers. And the point is also with strikers struggle in the I-League itself. And to me, therefore, it's a very, very difficult part. And the gulf between ISL and I-League has been growing apart, So that is something which we also, to me is very clear that the ISL standard is rising. There are some, but on the other side, there are certain teams in the I-League who are trying to get to the ISL, so they're spending. Mohammedan, you have Gokulam Kerala, you have Srinidhi, you have others who are trying to do it. Otherwise, you see Inter Kashi today won a sensational game 5-4 against Aizawl, where they were leading 3-1 and then were 3-4 behind and then won 5-4. So therefore, that's why we have to be honest. Who do we want to see? And playing 5-6 good matches, to me, doesn't mean that someone deserves to get into the national team. I think getting into the national team needs to be something special. You have to be a cut above the rest to be able, you know. So let's see where we go.
Hiren, final question for
अंडर
you.
अंडर
I think
23 का
yeah,
नहीं नहीं
I'll
अंडर
give it.
23 का पूछ रहे थे भाई उसका लाइव का देखते हैं भाई अभी तो कोई ऐसा अपडेट नहीं है अगर होगा तो
But
बता
but
देंगे
but but Hiren, I can say that the Malaysian FA normally has a live stream. Sorry, Football Association of
हाँ वो
Malaysia
करते हैं
FAM
उनके
normally
उनके
has a live stream.
हाँ
So therefore, in the worst case, check their socials. They will most probably post it. Most probably they'll have it on their Facebook or somewhere. They will
हाँ
slowly post something.
वो अगर वो करेंगे लाइव तो उसका लिंक मैं दे दूंगा भाई टेंशन मत लो अपना वो कर लेंगे अरेंज
That's one. And
और एक
are they asking about Kerala Super League? I think Kerala Super League. I think again the infos that I've gotten and I've seen is this whole Ibrahimovic, Hulk, and all these other guys are more of a PR story. I think the league wants to seriously build. It is no competition to the ISL. I think it is about growing football in Kerala. And if they do, and I hope they do the right things, because Kerala is one of those states where football needs to grow. The infrastructure needs to get better, and we need more good quality clubs in Kerala. So therefore, if that league is able, and they're supposedly some of the biggest or richest people in or out of Kerala. So to me, that would be great if the Kerala Super League really works.
बट ये जो इब्राहिमोविच और उन सब का नाम निकल कर इनको वो एज एम्बेसडर ला रहे कि उसको खिलाने के लिए
I
ला
don't think they're gonna play. I don't even think they're gonna be
रहे
involved because what I have heard about budgets, again the stories what they're supposed to spend and what they're spending most likely less than I-League teams. So therefore, I don't see them bringing those players.
Yeah, Deepak, coming to your question, Hiren, your favorite ISL player?
खाबरा साहब वो उनको आंसर मिल गया है
Yeah, I know. I saw that. Yeah, fair enough. No, but on a serious note, Hiren, your favorite ISL player?
आई थिंक फॉर मी इज आई थिंक कोरो जिसको मेरे को काफी ज्यादा वो पसंद थे एड्रियन लूना इज आल्सो देयर आई थिंक जिन्होंने मतलब एक आईएसएल में आके एक होता है कि एक पहले से ही कोई प्लेयर लेजेंड होता है एंड देन आईएसएल में भी अच्छा करता है तो वो तो है ही सब जो मेंशन कर रहे हैं सर ने भी नाम बट आई थिंक एड्रियन लूना अगर आप बोलेंगे तो आईएसएल में आने से पहले आप ये नहीं बोलेंगे कि उतना बड़ा नाम थे बट आई थिंक आईएसएल में जिस तरह से पर्टिकुलरली उन्होंने खेला है फॉर मी इन आईएसएल आई थिंक डेफिनेटली he will be in that list. Steven Mendoza काफी सारे हैं भाई I think जिन्होंने over the years बेहतरीन किया है ऐसे.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Well, thanks so much, guys, for joining in. I hope you enjoyed our little quiz as well, and yeah, we'll be back to discuss India versus Afghanistan starting lineup and all of that. So stay tuned. Please like and share the videos. Subscribe to all the channels: Post Kabri, Curious Harry, and Arun Foot. Good night.
Good night, guys.
Good night.